What's one thing that PC players have been wanting in Battlefield Hardline for a very long time? I'll give you one guess. Yep, that's right. Longer time to kill. A long time back, I had a conversation with Zach Mumbach, who is one of the lead designers over at Visceral Games working on Hardline, and he mentioned he was a supporter of the PC version of the game having specific balancing mechanics that are different to the standard balancing mechanics available in other versions of the game on the consoles. And the day has finally come that Visceral have decided to give the PC version of Battlefield Hardline different statistics to the console version. Zach confirmed in a Twitter conversation with none other than Danny on PC, our favourite gameplay lender, that they'd be running testing on the CTE version of Hardline in the next few weeks, but that it'd probably take a few attempts to get it right. And that's hardly surprising. There are hundreds of metrics that can affect the way a weapon handles and reacts when it's fired, way beyond the standard settings like rate of fire, recoil patterns and damage, although those statistics are probably the ones that affect it most. But why is it necessary to have different gun statistics for PC and console versions of the same game? For people watching this video who do play on the consoles, you might be scratching your head and wondering why this change ever needed to be made. Well, I'll do my best to try and explain why. Now, before you all go Westie PC Master Race on me, it has been proven time and time again that PC mouse and keyboard control, accuracy and precision far exceeds that of controllers on consoles. And with that in mind, here goes. Players on the PC have complained time and time again that the time to kill in Hardline needed to be increased. Due to the high damage model that Visceral adopted in an attempt to make the game skillful and maybe to give the game its own unique identity set apart from other Battlefield games, they created this environment that's even more brutal than any game that's come before and really put the emphasis on whoever lands that first bullet is going to win. This leads to players dying very quickly in gunfights, which if you're constantly on the receiving end of, it's not very fun. The issue, in part, is not helped by the great accuracy and precision of the mouse and keyboard, meaning if you end up in a server full of high-ranking skillful players, you're going to get crushed. The issue didn't exist as much, and I say as much because it was stated by Zach way back in the conversation that I mentioned at the start of the video that they'd received more complaints from PC players than console players. The issue didn't exist as much on consoles, and this is due to the way the controller can affect aim and precision. Analog sticks are less precise and accurate than a mouse, meaning more bullets may be missed during gunfights as players try to correct their aim. The high damage model isn't as prevalent here if more bullets are missed, meaning the time to kill on console is already sort of artificially longer than PC, through the only way people can play the game, which is with their controller. You can look at this fairly simply and say that PC players were almost playing a completely different game to those on the consoles, and as such had more to complain about. The issues with Battlefield's netcode has always been present. Imagine adding those issues into an environment where some guns, like the battle rifles, could kill in 3 bullets. Thankfully, the netcode issues have now been addressed somewhat in Hardline, and it uses the same netcode as Battlefield 4, but it was Visceral who fixed it after all. But now it seems we're finally going to get a set of PC-specific balance settings, which, based on what Zach was saying in his tweet, is going to translate into a longer time to kill. GG Visceral. But, and this is a really big but, is it all too late from Visceral? Who knows what they've got planned beyond their last DLC, which is Betrayal, but from my own viewing, PC player numbers are no longer climbing above 2,500 people per night, which means there aren't many people left around to enjoy what I'm sure will be probably the most welcome addition to Battlefield Hardline yet. You can forget the 30 or so weapons they've added, forget the DLCs. This, the elongated time to kill, will probably be celebrated most. But as I've already seen on Twitter, why did it take so long? It's not a case of the community not being vocal about it. PC players first mentioned this at release of the game, which was nearly 11 months ago now. Why was this system not implemented sooner? Surely by satisfying players with a fair, consistent and enjoyable gameplay experience, you could have limited the decline in players. And I'm convinced the reason this wasn't implemented sooner was likely down to people working on other parts of the game. For example, the free DLC drops and the premium DLC content, which specifically for the premium aspect needed to be completed and released when it had been advertised. People have paid good money for that. However, this is a good change. Despite my comments it didn't happen sooner, I think this change will be celebrated by lots and lots of people in the Battlefield community. I'm not 100% sure it will bring any more people back to playing this game. Here's me making a video about it, letting people know that they are going to be increasing the time to kill for the PC version, so maybe you will give it another go, but I'm not 100% confident it will do anything. It's so late in the game's life cycle now that this kind of change I don't think is going to have a massive effect. It should have been done in between the release and the first DLC. Get that change out there, make some of the bigger changes before all the players get settled into a rhythm that they get used to. And unfortunately, people didn't like the short time to kill. It should have been changed a lot earlier. Thanks very much for watching. There's a straw poll in the description today asking you whether the time to kill extension for the PC version is going to make you come back and play. If you could answer that, that'd be awesome. And leave some comments down below as well. Let me know what you think. Of course, the straw poll doesn't really give your opinion all that much other than one word. So if you've got any more opinions, leave them down in the comments. But until next time, my name is Westie, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.
Keep going round in circles.